Welcome to episode 10 of the Stitching Geek podcast. My name is Mallory and my pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm coming to you today from outside of Portland, Oregon. In today's episode, we're mostly going to talk about some works in progress and then some Guppy babies. So, no finished objects this week. I didn't even finish one of the squares for that blanket I'm working on, so we're going to go right into works in progress. And there has been some progress on said works. So let's go ahead and start with the big project. We'll start with the Harvest Cardigan by Tin Can Knits. I haven't done a ton on it, but I have worked on it a little bit. I'm still at the increases after separating for the sleeves. So we can kind of take a quick look. Still looking pretty good. Done maybe a row, maybe two since last time. As a reminder, this is being knit out of Knit Picks' Wool of the Andes worsted in the Baltic Heather colorway, and that is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. I still like the sweater. It's just been very, very hot here in Oregon, so I haven't really felt like having a giant sweater on my lap, so it just hasn't gotten a whole lot of work on it. Plus, at this point, it's over 300 stitches on the needles, and I have to purl the return rows, so it's just pretty slow going. So we'll move on to another Tin Can Knits project that I'm working on, and that is the flax sweater that I am knitting in the third smallest size. As you can see, quite a bit of progress has been made on this one. We are done with the body, fully done with the body. You can see from my progress marker where I was last time. About here, so I did a couple inches, finished the bottom. Trying to get some decent footage here. Finished the bottom, and I have started on one of the sleeves. Picked up and started knitting on there. This one is in my Delaque bag. And it's going pretty well. Sleeves are an interesting situation for me. I'm knitting this one out of Cascade 220 Superwash in the 1947 colorway. It's just a lovely purple. Like I said, I was able to finish the body, and I'm now working on the first sleeve. The sleeve has been an interesting challenge because it requires a lot of skills that I don't usually use in knitting, like picking up stitches and things like that, and knitting really, really small circumferences, mostly because I tend to try to avoid those because I find them challenging. But likely I find them challenging is because I avoid them and haven't done much of it. So it's one of those like darned if you do, darned if you don't situations. But I'm working on it. I'm sticking with it, and hopefully, doing this sweater will help me get better at those skills, especially doing two sleeves. I'm knitting this in the third smallest size, so it's technically a baby sweater. I don't have a recipient in mind, but I am enjoying working on it, and it's nice to have a smaller project in the works. Speaking of smaller projects, I have cast on for something new. And this one is in my Erin Lane bag with these lovely crafty sheep on it. And that is, I say I cast on something new, and it's a new project, but it's a pattern that you guys have seen before, and I've cast on another bankhead hat. I could always change my mind as the pattern, because right now I'm just working on the brim. Let me get close here because this color is lovely. This is the Bankhead Hat by Susie Gourlay. The only link I have for this one in the bottom description is going to be to Ravelry, so I do apologize for that, but just as a heads up. I'm knitting this one out of Malabrigo Rios in the Wales Road colorway that I got from Eat Sleep Knit. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's a 4-ply worsted, and it's really lovely. The purples are beautiful. Like, you've got a bunch of different purples. It feels kind of kettle dyed. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but it's got some variations in the purple and even like a really deep, deep dark blue. And it's super duper soft and squishy, and I'm very, very excited to have a hat made out of this. And I think it'll look lovely in the bankhead once we get to the actual patterning part. I am kind of doing this episode a little quicker than normal. We have friends coming in from out of town, and so I'm doing it a couple days early, and I'm doing it on my lunch break at work. So I'm struggling against a time deadline here, but hopefully it won't be too jarring. But that's it for what I have been actively working on. So let's move on to acquisitions. So it's been a while since I've had some acquisitions, and this last couple weeks here between episodes, I was running some errands, and for the first time in a long time, I went into Joann's with nothing in mind. Usually during this whole pandemic, if I do need to get something from a craft store, I've been doing curbside pickup or, ordering ahead, running in, grabbing it, running out, trying to be mindful and respectful in distance and things like that. But things are opening back up slowly. I still was masked. I'm fully vaccinated, so I decided to just go do some browsing. And there was some fun stuff in there. I thought maybe something for my planner or, maybe some other craft. I ended up in the yarn and decided to pick up some more budget-friendly yarns, like some less yarn snobby yarns. Going through what I had before, Knit Picks isn't super yarn snobby, but stuff like, Malabrigo and the cashmere that I bought a couple weeks ago, I guess months now at this point, tends to not be the most accessible for everybody. Most people hopefully can get to a big box store, and some people may not like knitting with wool or alpaca or cashmere or whatever, and they want to knit with acrylic. And I thought, one, I should stop being such a yarn snob, and two, it would be good for the channel if I actually worked with some yarn that might be more readily available for everybody. So I found some stuff that I liked and I picked it up, and hopefully, this will make things a little bit more accessible. I don't have any real plans for any of this yarn, but we'll get started here. So this, to start with, is Lion Brand Mandala. It's already caked, and it has like this lovely gradient. And you can see this gray here as well. I had to like pull out a bunch of it to get the yarn, but it's really pretty, and it's pretty soft from what I can tell. It is 100% acrylic. And it comes in a 150 gram or 5.3 ounce cake. And it is 590 yards or 540 meters. On the label here, my light is in front of the camera this time, which is causing some shadows, but that's okay. It has this lovely scarf on it, so I might do something like that. The label claims you can make a scarf with one ball of yarn. So I can definitely try, and I think doing something long and thin like that will go ahead and work with the gradient really well. So I might end up doing that. Haven't decided. I just like the look of it. It's in the Pixie colorway, and the colors really spoke to me, especially if you look at it, especially this teal and this orange back here. I really kind of like that vibe. Oh, I forgot to mention, also, according to the label, it is a number 3 light in weight. I went and looked that up on a chart, and that apparently translates to like a DK or a worsted. So it looks worsted to me, but we'll see how it knits up. And then when I went up to the check stand, they had like a big box of yarn, like literally a big box of yarn at a big box store. And it was this Burnett Bundle Up yarn. You can see it has this little, and it's this lovely pinkish color and this lovely yellow are the ones I went with. There's a couple different colors. It is, let me look at the label here. We're looking at 100% polyester. There's 4.9 ounces or 140 grams, and that brings up 267 yards or 244 meters. It's so soft. It's so very soft, you guys. Like I just want to rub it against my face all the time. It has an interesting texture to it. Like it almost feels velvety to a degree. I don't know, but I really like it. And it is a number 4 medium weight, which when I looked it up, it said somewhere like a worsted or an Aran. So looks worsted to me. Let me see if I can kind of show you guys here. Not super thick, not too thin. But I got it this coral, which is called Red Wagon. I wouldn't have named it that. Like Red Wagon to me like screams like fire truck red. Like this, it looks coral or like almost peach to me. And then this one, the yellow, is Duckling, which does fit quite well. So again, no idea what I'm going to make with this. It was kind of an impulse buy at the register, but I have been wanting to try crochet again. And I think it would be fun to do some granny squares out of this. Either switching colors within the granny square itself or alternating colors on the squares. Maybe even some sort of blanket. I only have two skeins, but I should be able to get more if I need to at Joann's. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. What would you guys do with this kind of yarn? What are your thoughts? Especially when it comes to something that is 100% acrylic or polyester. It feels like, something that can be washed. So blanket is kind of the vibe I'm going for. I almost even feel like the coral almost goes with the pixie here. and the yellow, but it's not quite, it's different brands. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just thought some yarn would be fun. But yeah, so that's all the stitching content I have this week. So let's move on to the Geek segment. So I haven't written anything down for the Geek segment this week, so I'm kind of winging it here. Like I said, I kind of forgot I was supposed to record today. So the big news is that, as I've talked about on a couple different episodes, I do have guppies. So they're right behind me here. You can kind of see them swimming around, the guppies there. And one of the guppies did give birth. There's about 20 babies in there. All seem to be doing well. It's pretty cool and also extremely weird. They're super duper small. I showed a video of it to my mom, and she said they look like ants crawling around on the floor of the tank. And that's kind of true. They're mostly clear. They have the eyes, but it's really interesting to watch them and like see how they hide and how they escape from the bigger fish and things like that. So it's been a really fun experience, and I'm excited to get them a bigger tank when that goes back on sale. The other one I talked about a little bit earlier here with things this time is that I actually have a friend. We have friends coming in from out of town. Like, one's coming from New York, some are coming down from Seattle, and I get to actually hang out in person with people. I've already warned them that they are going to get like 10 minutes worth of hugs from me. I am not normally a hugger, but I am just so excited to actually see people again and get out of my apartment. We're still going to be taking things super safe. We're going to try to go to the zoo. Well, we bought tickets, so we're going to the zoo. Zoo's like one of my favorite places. We have a really good zoo here in Oregon. Hopefully I can get some footage for next time to show you guys. But yeah, it's outside. We're going to still mask up. All of us are vaccinated. We're all like super safe and been super cautious, but I am ready to hang out with people. So I'm very, very excited. But yeah, that's pretty much the main things that have been going on around here. So hopefully next time I'll have some fun zoo footage, and we'll see how much progress I've made on any of my knitting. But thank you, if you guys have liked the show so far, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out. And I will see you next time.